My name is Emily Steiner. I'm a professor at Penn, and this is my 19th year at Penn. I teach medieval literature.
I'm Aylin Malcolm. I'm a Ph.D. student in English at Penn, and this is my 3rd year.
So we'd like to welcome you to the making of a 60-second lecture. Our lecture was called Lost Words, 5 Medieval Words Which We Need Right Now.
Which became 11 words. Yep.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. We tend to think of English as being a very acquisitive language, constantly accumulating words. But in fact, we've lost hundreds, if not thousands, of words over the course of the centuries. So today, my assistant, Aylin, and I are going to teach you not 5, but 11 medieval words. Some of these words are completely lost to the language. Some of them are hovering on the brink of extinction. And we're going to teach them to you through a conversation about the November midterm elections.
Well, so when I heard that I was going to be given an opportunity to do a 60-second lecture, a couple of things occurred to me. One was that I had to find a way to get people back into the Middle Ages very quickly. And that's really challenging to take people back 500 or 1,000 years so quickly. So I thought, in fact, what I actually had to do was make the Middle Ages come to them and really sort of pop into the present.
Professor Steiner, who are you going to vote for in November?
Definitely winking at Wall, because he is so handy and he's so long. And boy, does that guy know how to swing to get the votes out. What do you think?
And the first step of bringing the Middle Ages into the contemporary moment was that Emily went on Twitter to sort of crowdsource our word scavenging process.
There were some problems, though, with some of the words that people suggested on Twitter, weren't there?
Yeah, well, some of them were a little bit hard to represent in 60 seconds because the richness of these words makes them difficult to pantomime.
Also, Chaucer's English has a lot of really naughty words. And we're trying to keep it kind of clean.
I think we did well.
Yeah. So, and those are the ones that people most wanted us to do, I think.
Although focusing on the upcoming midterm elections did give rise to a lot of insults.
Yes, definitely.
I think he's a doff. What? And he's such a softie. What a pushover. He's so nesh.
Well, okay, what about Dame Agnes Skinner? Do you think she's a woman of the common people?
No, she snurteth.
I think she's concealing a hudder-mudder.
Yeah, she makes me want to bulk.
So the word bulkin, to puke or to belch, is not a word that's used now, but there's a version of it that's used. Balkin, which people from Scotland didn't hesitate to tell me that they use all the time.
What about Pernell Puddinghart?
She is a pert and proud popinjay.
The word popinjay, which means parrot, but is often used in Middle English to mean someone who's really proud and conceited, comes from an Arabic word, babia, which also makes sense because these birds were coming from a warmer location. So I had to hang on to popinjay. Like, I felt like it had this rich linguistic history, and I was determined to use this word popinjay. But how are we going to act out a popinjay? And
I was willing.
yeah. It turns out I have everything in my basement, including an old pirate costume. So that's how we came up with that prop.
The first time we practiced it, we came in at 3 minutes? Mm-hmm. And so getting it down to even approximating a minute was pretty challenging.
I think another big challenge is realizing that you have to move from the format to the material and not the material to the format. So you start with not, here's what I want to convey, but it's going to be outside and it's going to be 60 seconds, right? And that has to determine what you're going to do. And that's sort of a sacrifice, because here you are representing your field of study and you want people to accord it a lot of dignity and authority. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to throw dignity out the window, because otherwise how am I going to get people to hear what I have to say about medieval words?
I think that's sort of good to remember when you're a medievalist in general, because it's already such an arcane field. It's so removed from everyday life experience in today's society. So you have to be able to really meet people where they are.
What are we going to do? We're in a canker dort.